Hi, I'm Emma Lou, the Creative Director with Heartfelt Creations. So many of you have been asking for some interactive and fanciful flip cards using our decorative papers. I know some of our papers are a little bit difficult to cut into, but today I'm going to show you how to do some simple interactive cards using some of our background papers. You're going to love this. To create this fanciful card, I cut a 12 by 6 1/4 card base, and that's what you're seeing laying here. But before we get started with that, I chose the panels from this paper collection, so I chose this one. And then I also chose a 6 by 6. I cut down this jean pocket panel, and then I also used an edge out of this 6 by 6 and an edge from this. So you can really cut these papers apart and do a lot of different things with it. So to get started, after you've cut your actual card base, I started by gluing this piece down first. And you'll notice that we cut a little bit off the edge here. So before we cut that edge off, a very simple way to make this card is once you have your panels cut out of the paper, just add a little bit of glue, and this is just a very simple and quick way to create this card base. So I basically just kind of position this in the center, and I will leave a little bit of a wider gap here because we're going to add 2 score lines in there so that it folds very nicely. So we'll glue that down, and then this will be the piece for this size, or for this side, and we'll just add a little bit of glue down here. And you might wonder how I got that curve cut in the top. I actually just measured it from this paper that's going to be on the outside. So we'll go ahead and just kind of push this up to the edge of the paper. Just focus more on this side. So we'll do that. And then once you're finished, you're ready to cut this apart, to cut this right side. So to do that, I will put this into my cutter, and I'll kind of just bring this right down in here, and I'll start cutting, just make a little slit down in that side, flip it around, do it on this side as well. You don't have to be super picky about this. This is just giving you an edge that you can cut. That needs to go down just a little bit further. There we go. And then you'll bring this in, and you'll just cut off this top part in here. Oops, my cutter just popped out. There we go. So just bring that in here, just make sure we have that, and then you can remove this part. And then we'll bring this in from this direction, and we'll bring this over so the camera can see this. And I'll bring my blade up, just pull this out just a little bit, and that will cut off that side. Just make sure you have a nice border that's similar to the border you have around the rest of the card. So once you've done that, we're ready to add those score lines to the card. So to score this, I like to use my trimmer and the 2mm tip from the Stylus Flower Shaping Kit. I'll do one score line, and then I'll just push it over just a little bit and do another score line, and that really helps to give you a very nice crease, and it makes the creases just a tad wider than normal. So that when you're doing multiple papers, it really folds very nicely. So we'll do the same thing in this area. Just use your stylus just in your paper trimmer and just kind of follow the line. Actually, let me just move that over just a tad. Just do that on each one and just kind of go down, then just move it over just a little bit and just continue that. And that will give you a really nice full, like I like to do this 2 times, just move it a little bit so you have a very nice crease. So if you look on that side, you'll see that it's kind of like what I call that double score line. So you'll just bring this over, and you'll see how easily and how nicely that just folds. So I'll pull the paper trimmer away, and since you have folded that, you can bring this over, and you can now glue the main panel that will be the front of your card to the to this back flap. So we'll just bring this in, Just glue that on the top. If you wanted to, you could have cut this piece off or out the center with the Cut Matte Create die like I did on this card. So if you wanted to do that, you would do that before you glue this panel down. And then you'll also notice that we still have this top piece squared off. So what I like to do with this one is I just like to bump this up a little bit higher so that you have just a little bit of an edge, and I'll actually just trim right along this edge. So it's just kind of a free-handed trimming. So we'll do that the way around, and that kind of gives you that nice curve on the top. And then we'll just bring this over and we'll glue this one on the front. So as you can see, this is kind of a quick and easy way to utilize a lot of the papers. You can really pick out a number of different designs within the paper collection to do really fun flip fold cards. And once you have this glued down, let me just pull this down. I think this space is just a little bit too wide, so if you see that, you can kind of continue to just kind of trim that down just a little bit however you like. So you can kind of custom trim that, and if it goes a little bit lower on the base, that's okay there. And now you're ready to add your embellishments to the card. You can embellish this card however you like, but I like to add some of the coordinating blazing poppy flowers on top. So I'll just take my poppy flower that I've already created. If you haven't watched my how to shape the blazing poppy flowers, you can watch that, and that will show you how to color and shape these to make some realistic poppy flowers. So we'll just press that down, and then the next step after I've done my main flowers, I like to kind of bring in the leaves. I might have you can just kind of tuck those in. You'll see that you can kind of utilize the leaf pattern in the background. So this one will just kind of hold since that one's drying a little bit. I'll kind of tuck that in quite a ways underneath since that leaf is a little bit larger. Just kind of press that down, and then this leaf is a tad smaller. These leaves are actually from the Delightful Daisies stamp and die set. They actually coordinate very beautifully with the poppies as well. And these are just stamped with like a dark green ink on one of the green papers within the Blazing Poppy paper collection. So you have those two base leaves. Now you could go back and add two smaller poppy flowers. You can kind of tuck those in wherever you like, and you could add more or less. Just kind of place those however you desire. We'll kind of place that on the top. If you wanted these to stay shut before you glue the panels down, you could have also added a ribbon in between these panels, to tie a ribbon in between this to kind of close it, or you could do a magnetic clasp. So we have that, and we're ready to add our ribbon and frills. To add the frills to the flower center, I like to just kind of do a large circle of glue in the center of the poppy, especially for the large one. The small one, I will just put like a dot of glue in the center. And then we'll go back and we'll just pour our frills right into the center of this poppy flower. The color that I'm using is Espresso Yourself, and it's in one of the sets of frills we sell online. We'll put the link in the video so you can access that very easily. Then you just pop those off. And then if the shape on the inside is not quite what you like it to look like, I will just kind of push those frills to the side so it looks a little bit more like a circular motion, or a circular flower center in the center of that poppy. And once you're finished with the frills, that will dry, it'll dry clear. You can go back and you can add your glitter. I'm actually going to just show adding glitter to this side so you can see very quickly how I add just some light glue to the backgrounds of the papers that you have in your Blazing Poppies paper collection. I just move very quickly, just squeeze very lightly, and that will give you a very nice but light and subtle pattern on your background paper, and it will give a very nice glittery effect. When you do this for the first time, I try to go very light-handed because it tends to glob up if you press too hard. So just move very quickly. You'll just kind of add the glitter wherever, or the glue wherever you like. And then we're adding some of the Baby's Breath glitter to the top. This is just an ultra-fine glitter. So when the glue is still white, you know that it's still wet, so we'll just tap that off. And then once it is completely dry, that glue will dry clear, and it will look like the glitter that you see on this card. So this card I added some prills over here, I added a sentiment and a butterfly to finish off that card. This is just one option of many different ways that you can create these interactive cards using some of our decorative card panels. I can't wait to see what you create. You can share it with us on our Facebook page. You can also see more examples of different inspiration using this paper collection and many others by visiting our gallery at heartfeltcreations.us. Thank you for joining me today, and we will see you next time.